YouTube. In today's video, we got the big names in the new Epstein files by my boy Zevi, man. Let's get straight to it.
All right, let's talk about the Epi files, namely the big names that you probably know that are in the documents. Donald Trump, of course, in the documents. William Gates, aka Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Jay-Z, Pusha T. And then we're gonna talk about some dude named Howard that's named in the documents. You probably don't know him, but you will after this. But first, to understand all of this, what you have to know is the Department of Justice under Donald Trump had a problem. You see, United States Congress passed a law saying, y'all gotta release those files. The Department of Justice said, all the files? Congress said, yeah.
Bro, like, what do you expect though, bro? Like, what do you mean all of the files? Yes, if you're obligated to do that. Like, we pay taxes, so if we want something to be released, release that shit. Fuck are y'all trying to hide, bro?
I stutter. So after a bunch of stalling, the Department of Justice said, okay, look, here's half the documents. And that's what you got. Those were the files that were recently released. 3 million pages out of 6 million pages. Congress said, didn't we say release all the documents? The Department of Justice excuse was they're trying to protect victims. I'm not even going to insult you with the Department of Justice.
Protect victims? How you going to protect victims when they getting freaky with little kids? Like, how you going to protect victims when they kidnapping little kids? They doing all these weird... Where are these victims? These are not victims. What the fuck?
There's reasons for not releasing the other half of the files. But let's just say Congress is apparently trying to get the rest of the files released. But in this half of the files, like we said earlier, you got some big names, starting with Elon. Now remember, Elon Musk said, ain't never spoke to that dude Epstein. He tried to invite me to the island. I said, no. Donald Trump, though, y'all should check on him. Well, turns out in the files, there is email correspondence between Elon and Jeff Epps. Elon basically saying, yo, when can I fall through to the island?
Why are you lying? Like, I don't understand why people lie, say, I never got in contact with Epstein a day in my life. When there's emails to show it, like, I don't think y'all realize when you lie, it makes your image look even worse of like what you possibly could be doing behind closed doors.
Can I pull up? Elon emailing him year after year. And this is after it came out that Jeff Epps was committing those heinous crimes. And I want you to take special note of that. Because here's a side note. Jeff Epps, around 2005, that's when it came out that he was committing heinous acts. That's when you see a bunch of billionaires and politicians come out and say, oh, that's when I stopped talking to him. 2005, 2008, that's when I cut him off. But again, Elon hitting him up like 2012 saying, yo, it's Christmas time. Can I come to, Elon saying this, the wildest parties you got? What's the wildest parties you got? He said, me and my wife, his wife at the time, trying to pull up. And what's kind of embarrassing, when Elon last messaged Jeff Epps, Elon was like, yo, man, can't wait. Is the heli coming? Like, Jeff Epps responded to him saying, look, man, I'm not finna be at the island this year. Like, you can't come. I'm gonna be in New York. Boy got rejected by a weirdo. Elon, tripping. And speaking of tripping, let's talk about William. I've been told y'all about William. So according to the files, Jeff Epps is basically like drafting an email to himself, detailing the stuff about William Gates, saying William Gates messes with Russian girls. He's stepping out on his wife with these Russian girls. And with these Russian girls, he got a disease, which he then gave to his wife.
This is the same person that gave diseases to the whole fucking world. Let's talk about it. Like COVID, like, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I know for a fact all of this shit was planned to kill off majority, not even majority, just a portion of the population, since they so-called say that we were getting overpopulated on Earth.
And now he wants Jeff Epps to give antibiotics to his wife secretly. And he said, whole time Bill Gates over here, tears in his eyes, trying to beg me this and that. Boy, stop it. If you could cry, you can walk to the bank. Because the only way I ain't telling nobody about this is if you give me a house. Jeff Epps, side note, loved him some blackmail. Now, mind you, Bill Gates denies all this stuff. Elon Musk denies this stuff. But it's kind of tough to deny because these are emails that the FBI acquired.
Right.
Now, here's why I said that, because here's where things start to get wicked. What I just told you about Bill Gates and Elon Musk is regarding what they found in Jeffrey Epstein's emails. But Donald Trump, Pusha T, and Jay-Z, who we're about to talk about right now, they don't show up in emails. They show up in allegations. Basically, people coming out and saying, yo, I saw Donald Trump, Jay-Z, Pusha T doing this. I saw them when I went to this party. And
bro, we seen pictures of Trump. Like, have we not?
Stupid.
Like, let's keep it a buck. Trump has been seen multiple occasions. Now, I'm not blaming him. I'm not saying anything. But y'all let me know in the comments below. What are y'all thoughts about this?
That party. Donald Trump shows up a lot. People detailing in graphic account what they were told to do with Donald Trump. People detailing the fact that Donald Trump had wild parties of his own. As for Pusha T and Jay-Z, it's a similar situation. But as far as we know, they show up one time in the files with one accuser saying 1994 she saw Jay-Z at a party, Harvey Weinstein was there, and they both... And how they got to these parties in the first place is because of people like Pusha T, who the accuser called a handler.
Bro, y'all want to know what's crazy though? Is like they said this happened in 1994 when they seen him. Like that means that this shit has been going on for years and years before we were even born. Because I'm 24. Like this is very sick, bro. Very.
Go on to say Pusha T would give them stuff to make them really sleepy, and then they would wake up at these parties. Now, besides all the big names I mentioned to you, there are plenty of other names in these files. Many people in Donald Trump's inner circle, politicians alike. But there's one politician I want to highlight for you, and that's Howard Lutnick, your Secretary of Commerce. You see, he was Jeff Epstein's next door neighbor. So a few years back, I guess he felt like he had to explain himself. So he goes on and does an interview. This is when it was all popping about Jeff Epstein. He came out and said, look, all that stuff about Jeff Epstein in the news, just because I was his neighbor, let me start by saying I got nothing to do with it.
Boy, that's bullshit as hell. Y'all really gonna believe that? I ain't gonna lie, your next door neighbors with Epstein, bro. The nigga's on an island. Think about it. That don't make no damn sense. You're next door neighbor to a person who owns an island that has all of these allegations, and you're part of the fucking I ain't gonna say the government, but you're a part of the elites, you know. So I don't believe that bullshit, not one bit.
And when I tell you, he was being this boy should be an actor. Boy should get an Oscar because he was furious that his name was even mentioned in the same sentence. He said, don't mention my name with that man. The interviewer said, you serious? He said, damn straight. He said, let me tell y'all something. I went over to introduce myself to Jeff Epstein. Me and my wife was there.
Hell, man, get your dumb ass out of here. Huh? What? You said you went over there to introduce yourself to Epstein. That's it. So you're just friends. Y'all do realize birds of a feather do flock together. So I'm gonna let you put two and two together.
We knocked on the door. We said, hello. Boom. Jeff Epps opened the door. We said, hey. We saw a massage table in the middle of the room. That was weird.
Weird as hell.
Jeff Epps, you like getting massages or something? Jeff Epps leans over and says, I love massages, but he was weird with it. Like we thought it was weird, me and my wife. And then we said, okay, Jeff, we're gonna leave. We looked at each other and we promised we would never be in the same room with Jeff Epps again. They found him in the files. They found our boy Howard in the files emailing.
Duh.
Jeff Epps saying, when can I pull up? When can I pull up to the island? Matter of fact, dude's wife was emailing Jeff Epps too. Just in case you didn't get our last message, could we pull up? We finna bring our friends Mary and Matthew. They named them too.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. Let me tell y'all something about people. If you accuse an individual of something and they get very furious and angry and passionate and all mad about it, 9 times out of 10 they did that shit. In the words of 50 Cent.
They said they trying to bring the whole fam. Can we pull up?
Crazy.
I was guffawed when I tell you in his interview how passionate he was. And I said earlier he should win an Oscar, but honestly, maybe he was a little too passionate.
That's
in
what
the
I'm
interview.
saying,
like,
bro.
He not Denzel, you know what I'm saying? Like you know when somebody puts on a little too much fire? That's what I felt like, my opinion, in the interview Howard was doing. So I wasn't surprised to see his name listed in those emails. So what comes next? Well, the crazy part to me is these were, again, half of the files. So the half that they didn't want to show you, ooh, it must be bad. And
ain't it crazy how that's only half of the files and the shit that we have already seen, bro? Like, just imagine the other half that they're trying to hide. It got to be some very, very demonic, dark, sick shit, bro.
What it seems like is the Department of Justice is trying to say, look, we gave you half of the files. They're pretty big, right? So just leave us alone. No. I'm genuinely curious to know if that would work. It seems like people want it all. So let's just wait and see. Side note, if y'all remember, the FBI under Donald Trump came out earlier and said there ain't no names on the file. Y'all just imagining things. There's no list. Well, we're here now.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, they be lying so hard, and then when shit come out, they try to get quiet. Or they try to make up excuses. I was just there. He was just my co-friend for business or something. Yeah, we know for business, all right, nigga. Family orgies and shit.
And it seems that there was a list. So somebody's lying. And to go further, just remember, files mean nothing if people aren't brought to justice. I'm curious to see what happens next. Like, there's this information, but if nobody is pursuing, no government organization is pursuing this information, worthless. Then what do? We just look at the files. These people did all this and then we just move on. Well, I think the American people are past that point, and I think I could speak for everyone when I say we demand justice. Now, this is just the first look over people have had over these documents. Remember, it's millions upon millions of pages. So when more information comes out, then I'll be sure to let you know.
Yes, sir, man. Make sure you guys leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And always remember, when we're work together as a unity, we're way powerful than what we think, man.